so we're doing 2012 AP free response question number 4, and this is part A. So we have a function. F is defined by f of x equals square root 25 minus x squared. For x between -5 and 5, we're supposed to find f prime of x. And here's our function. F of x equals square root 25 minus x squared. Now, we don't need that restriction for x between -5 and 5. We don't need that for finding the derivative. We can just find the derivative directly. Looks like we have a chain rule because there is one function inside another, inside that square root. We'll probably want to rewrite our square root. Anytime we have a root or sometimes an exponent and a denominator, we want to rewrite that as a rational exponent. So we're going to rewrite this as 25 minus x squared to the 1/2 power. Then once we've done that, we're going to keep an eye on this inner function, and the outer function is the 1/2 power, and we're just going to do our power rule on that outer function. So we're going to bring that 1/2 out, and we're going to drop it 1. That's just doing our power rule. So we can now say that f prime of x. So notice how in our first two lines, we were just working with f of x, and we have not done a derivative yet. We just changed the form of the function, so this is still f. As soon as I do this process of bringing out the exponent and dropping it 1, now I'm doing a derivative. So that is f prime of x is what I want to write now. So pay attention to your details. When do things change form? So we're going to bring this 1/2 out to the front because that's our power rule. 25 minus x squared. And then we have to drop this 1/2 1. 1 less than 1/2 is -1/2. So now I've done the derivative of the outside function, but notice we've kept the inside function the same. So that's our chain rule, is we do the derivative of the outside function, keep the inside function the same, but then we have to multiply by the derivative of the inside function. And I'm going to, for now, call that inside function g. The inside function, 25 minus x squared. So I'm also going to do a power rule on this. The derivative of this constant is 0, so I can drop it. I'm going to do a power rule here. Multiply that 2. This negative is like a -1. It's like a coefficient, a constant multiplier. So I'm going to keep that -1. -1 times 2 is -2. Keep my x, and then that exponent of 2 drops to 1. And of course, I don't have to write that 1, but I was nice and wrote it. Now, in terms of an AP free response question, this problem is done. And I don't have to do anything else. If you were in a calculus class and you wanted to simplify your answer as much as possible, it might be nice to combine the -2 and the 1/2 and make that -1, and we won't even write the 1. And then we could write this as being in the denominator. So we could take our 1/2 power, our -1/2 power, and put it back in the denominator. As a negative power goes in the denominator as a fractional power, it goes as a root. So 25x squared. And then we could take our x here, our x to the 1, and just put it in the top. So this is a nice way to write your answer, but this is where you want to leave it for your AP response. And that's it for part A. Nothing else to it.